Welcome to Conversations with Toy, a blogcast tackling life one episode at a time. This is the time to air out life's craziest moments. This space is all about speaking about life's hang-ups and ways in which we can leave better than when we started. Topics are all about ways we can find space to be better in life, love, mental space, and health.
Happy Friday. I hope that you have had the most amazing week. Hi, I am Toy, the podcaster. I'm also a content creator, blogger, writer, freelance writer. I'm available. I have all the things. I'm excited. This is a great day to have a great day. I say all that to say, I missed 2 weeks and I missed all of you. Listen, I had acute laryngitis and an upper respiratory infection. I got it during the Thanksgiving break. So I was not able to come back and give you the update on how Thanksgiving was going. Let me give you in 30 seconds and even less. Thanksgiving was great and also trash. Great because we had a great meal prepared by myself. And then we were with I was with my family, meaning those I live in the house with. And we just had a really good time. The kids, they always help cook. They cook one thing by themselves with me, kind of being the supervisor. And I love that for them, so they can learn how to put their own Thanksgiving dinner, boy and girls, meaning my son and my 2 daughters. So I love that for them. However, after I cooked, I was immediately sick and had been sick from then all the way on. So yes, I missed you. I missed bringing the new podcast to you, but y'all have been doing a lot on these internet streets. Now, normally we do a lot and we are going to do a lot. I'm just going to ahead and give you a fair warning. Although my voice is still coming back and we're coming back from all those things, I got so much to talk about because there was a lot of things that's been happening in these internet streets. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the holiday made y'all turn up, but I need y'all to just take a pause on the turn up, okay? We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. This week, or I should say last week, because I had some downtime, I finally finished Keke Palmer's new book, Master of Me. It's a great, great read. It's also even better if you listen to it on Audible so that you can hear her voice as she talks and tells her story. I also, since we've been talking podcasts, I think we talked about it the last podcast, finished Jaleel White's story. And right now I'm working on another book. So I think it's Sarah Jake's book and another one too. So I'm reading 2 books right now currently. No, 3. I have to add in 3 books because I'm doing Wicked. I'm reading Wicked all over again. So 3 books right now that I'm currently reading, and I will have them done before the end of the new year, or before the new year should start, I should say. So before the end of the year and the start of the new year, I will have that done. I'm excited. I love to read. I think all great writers are great readers, or your readers, I think, make good writers. So as you know, I do a blog, Toytime, TOITIME.org. You can go and read it for yourself. I'm amazed about all the things. For those who have been saying, what about .com? I did have a Toytime.com. I have sunsetted that one, and I'm only using the Toytime.org. So there you go. You can find all the content in one place. Y'all, what in the world is going on? Let's talk about the first story. The first story, and these are all stories that I saw that was happening on TikTok. The first story that I want to talk about is a young lady who went into a wax appointment. And during her wax appointment, the wax person decided that they were not about to wax her because the smell that was going on was just too much. I didn't know we had to come to this point in life where I would have to have an etiquette conversation about what happens when you go to personal hygiene products or personal hygiene appointments, but here we are. Here's the thing. The young lady kept saying in the video that she had just come from the gym, and here's the thing. So I go and I get waxed. And with my wax person, we always I bring him up every single time as if I never heard these stories again. But we talk about these horror stories, and I ask her hey, what's the worst that you've ever come across? She's had stories where she's seen people who have visibly, infections that are going on that she can't wax, or the smell, people claim they're coming from the gym, but it's stronger than that. This is what this other wax person of the story that came online, going to the wax appointment, even if it's after the gym. First of all, why are y'all going after the gym is beyond me. But here's a little thing. And again, why are we having to have this conversation? A part of hygiene, especially, as you were younger, you have to know where you're going to be and where you're going to go so that you can be fresh and do all the things. For instance, you have kids that are in sports. Teach them how to have all the things they need to have, because if they're going from sports to a function afterwards, baby, they need to have some wipes on them. They need to clean themselves up, change them underwear, change your undergarments, wipe up and clean up. Nobody, in my opinion, like my mama would always say, you too old for me to have to be telling you this. And you can smell yourself before anybody else. So if you can smell you, everybody else can. And so I say all that to say, I'm mad that I gotta repeat the fact that this wax person had to say the same thing. Nobody has to give you a service when your stuff down there is stinking. If your cat is down there rank, don't open up them legs. Let me tell you something. It's already moist down there, okay? It's already tight. It's already in a spot. It's already got draws on them. It's already got things going on. I'm gonna need you to get on somebody's do better. When you have a wax appointment, I need you to prepare for that wax appointment. Personally, I go through my calendar and I pick a wax appointment on a day where, one, I can get home and get cleaned up, or I have a little emergency bag in the car where I can clean up before I go in. They have bathrooms. Just go ahead in the bathroom, go in there, change up, clean up, freshen up. At best, at best. Because when you open up your legs unto God and to man, don't nobody want to smell that. I promise you, even the most professional people, don't nobody want to open up the legs that you opened up and smell absolutely trash. Look down and you see everything that's going on. It don't get no more intimate than a wax appointment. Outside of the person or people or whoever you sleeping with, it don't get no personal than that. So I got a real issue with people going to wax appointments and you out here smelling like shenanigans and foolishness. When you smell like foolish and degradation, there's something going on with your spirit that you just don't give a care, that you allow your body to smell so funky, so stank, so right, that you would go there and have somebody be subjected to that. That's problematic. That's a problem for me. So for those who are going to go to, a lot of people, they don't go to waxing until it's either the holidays because they trying to get a little something, or they go on when they go on vacation. I'm not here to tell you how often you should get waxed. Not at all. Not at all. So wash your behind. I have a song that I created for my kids and I created it for my nieces. And it's called Wash Your Booty for Jesus. Now, I'm not going to sing the song because I'm trying to get this patent. I don't want y'all taking it. But I have a song that I sing with them. And it's so crazy that even they could sing it word for word, bar for bar. And it's called Wash Your Booty for Jesus. Now, anytime they come over to my house, and their parents, my niece's parents will tell you, which are obviously my siblings and my sister-in-law, will tell you that when it's time for shower, they will tell you, we got to sing the song. It's Wash Your Booty for Jesus. I've been singing the song for them since they was little to encourage cleanliness, okay? And my kids, you can hear them in the shower. They will sing the Wash Your Booty for Jesus. Now, one day I'm gonna sing it for you, but today ain't the day because I'm still recovering. But what I will tell you is if a 2-year-old knows how to wash their booty for Jesus, if a 2-year-old knows how to wash their tail for the Lord, I need you to wash your tail for yourself, because again, you are too grown. If you're getting waxed, because waxing is good for good just hygienic purposes, or the fact that you are sexually active and you don't want things to be in the way. That's between you and your Lord as to why, because everybody has their reasons. But if you are old enough to get a wax, you are old enough to wash your tail for the Lord. Okay, you are old enough to wash your behind for the Lord. And nobody should have to keep telling you this. Nobody should have to keep saying to you, wash your behind. Nobody. I don't understand how we're at this place. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to understand that. So wash your behind before y'all go to these waxes, because if you can cock your legs open for a waxer, you can cock them, you can open them up to clean them. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Because again, I told you from the very beginning, this episode gonna be real wild. Because y'all was out here showing y'all behinds, literally at some points, open them up for somebody else, and it wasn't even clean. Like, Jesus, the thought process of that is just mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling to me. Now, anybody that's a freelancer, meaning you do your own work, you're your own company, you're out here doing your thing, listen, congrats to you, because heavy is the weight, child. Heavy is the weight being a freelancer. It is not all cute and giggles. Listen, content creators, they do what they got to do. If you're a content creator, a freelance writer, whatever you do that's freelancing of your own business, you're putting your time, your talent, your skills to the test. You're putting it out there to get invoiced so that you can get your money and your dollary dues, as my daughter calls them, your dollary dues back so that you can take care of the things that concern you, your family, and all the things. It is not an easy work. So the next story that we're going to talk about is Miss Ivana Sunshine. That is her name on TikTok. You can go look it up for yourself. There is a makeup line from a gentleman named Patrick Ta, who makes amazing makeup from what I could tell. I have never used it, never got it, never all the things, but he makes amazing, amazing makeup from what I could see. And Ivana Sunshine did a campaign with him back in the spring. Keep that, put a pin right there at spring. Hold that to the back of your thoughts. In case you're not sure what season we are in fall on our way to spring. We're less than 2 weeks. On our way to winter. So we're in the fall, 2 weeks away to being winter. This campaign was done last spring. So we went from spring to summer to fall and almost winter. And she still was not compensated for the work she did in the springtime. According to Ivana, she has sent multiple emails, multiple forms of communication, and has not received her money. Listen, I'm ready to go pull up on people right now, real life, pull up on somebody right now for money that's owed to me. Whether it was $4, $4,000, $40,000, I want my dollar dues. And this was from something that happened in the beginning of, I guess, the end of summer. So I'm still fighting for something from the end of summer, right? End of summer, early fall. And in real life, I'm ready to pull up. If you owed me money from back in the springtime, I can't say online because I don't want nobody to use my words against me in the court of law. But what I can say is, without any certain terms, we wouldn't be out here just talking like it's nothing. We wouldn't be batting. We would be batting some eyes. We'd be having some problems. It'd be some furniture moving in the freelance space. A lot of companies, even reputable companies that mean well on the surface, they want to do the right thing within reason, right? There are some, I say some, who unfortunately will play in your face. You can send multiple emails. You could have contact and even know the address of folks that owe you some money, and they will play in your face. They've received the deliverables a long time ago. If you don't know what a deliverable is when you are in a campaign, and a campaign means you're in a contract to do XYZ for whatever the reasons are. So you're in a campaign, you're doing your thing, and in those deliverables, they tell you how many things they want. So if they want certain stories on certain social media platforms, if they want a reel, a video, a recap, a YouTube, whatever it is, they will tell you that. And once you had delivered, you would then expect to be compensated according to the contract. So according to the contract, they would have owed her money last spring. It doesn't say if it's the beginning of spring, the middle of spring, the end of spring. It doesn't matter because now we are 2 weeks away from winter time. Okay. So she has made multiple ways of trying to get her dollar dues. And in the midst of trying to get her dollar dues, has gone on to probably emails that are not responded to, or they may have responded and said, we'll get to you, but didn't, or they may have said, okay, we're going to pay you on XYZ day. I have a situation right now where I know I sent the email out. I know the person can read. I know they got the email. I wrote it and broke it down, all the dates. I done broke it down to the most finite places, and I haven't even received a response. So when I tell you that these companies and people in general will play in your face, I know personally what Ivana is talking about. Now, I don't know the number of her contract. She does not need to tell that, and actually that would be a breach of her contract. But to know that she's owed money that she has not gotten since last spring, don't nobody want to go into 2025 still owing money, still getting money not paid from 2024. Okay? And so her last resort was to go online. She made a video where she literally broke up the makeup palettes. Now, here's where I recognize that a few people, and I was going to say you, because I would just hope that if you're listening to my podcast, you got some sense. And we just talking, right? So lean in. Some people lack the ability of reading or understanding or any form of comprehension. And here's why. When the pallets were broken, multiple people came on there and they were like, oh my God, that could have been donated. She's being wasteful. I wouldn't have spent all that money and then wasted the product. She literally said that she had a campaign, which means they gifted her the products to use to make the content. She made the content. They did not pay her. Okay? Now, how I usually handle things is, and I'm actually going to do that today, I'm going to start, I've done this plenty of times. I have archived, meaning I will take all my content off, especially if it's within the contract lines. I will archive my stuff because sometimes they'll tell you how long you have to keep it on your social media platform before you can either delete it or archive it. Honestly, I think that you should always archive it, not delete, because it's still your content that you can use and leverage for something else. So I am the big girl on archive. I've already done that plenty of times when I've had something that goes left and it ain't really up to the same. I will go back and archive it without a problem, and I'm going to do that today. Thank you, Lord, for the reminder, so I can go and archive this one piece of content that the company has not paid me on. But I say all that to say that her breaking up those pallets wasn't because she paid so much money and she's being wasteful. Her breaking up those pallets is to let other people know, if you choose to work with Patrick Ta, there could be a possibility that you might not get paid. Now, she did bring up the fact that about black creators, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, everything is just always so black and white. Why is it always so black and white?" Here's why. As a content creator myself, there are plenty of times where I've heard, and I know for a fact, there have been other content creators who have the same numbers or do the same type of things, and their contracts are sometimes double to triple in what they get paid just because of the likeness of their skin. Okay, it's not something that we've made up. It is a disparity in how black women are paid and black content creators are paid, and then God forbid a black woman is paid. Okay, I am telling you what I know. This is not something that I'm making up. This is not something that sounds cute on paper. I am telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I experienced. I'm telling you what I've seen. It is the truth, the gospel truth. And if you are lighter complexion, they will pay you more than they would pay me, being a black woman in content creation spaces. Not all, but some. Okay. And with that being said, these companies do play in your face. So for those who were all up in arms about donating products, if she's already used these products to create the content, you donating used products, who's using that? Who, you got to be a thirsty somebody to want somebody's used makeup that doesn't belong in your family just because. You got to be a thirsty somebody, okay? It's not hygienic. It's not something anybody would recommend. So that's number one. Number two, she did not pay for the products. The products were sent to her to create the content. The content was made and posted. She did not get paid. So whatever she chose to do with that makeup, if she decided to sleep into the bed with her or throw it out the very day after she made the content, it was her choice. Once it leaves the hands of the people who asked her to make the content and is delivered to her and she's done her part, her job is done. Some of y'all just lack comprehension. You saw the video and you just wanted to complain for complaint's sake and you don't know anything. This is how I know those who made the biggest moves are people who are not freelancers, people who are not content creators, because all you saw was, oh, Lord, if I could just get one company to send me some, Lord, I'd just be so happy. Yes, that's you, because you're a regular consumer who, of course, if you got product from somebody that you admired, you would be over the moon. Many of us, myself included, sit on products, and this is why I donate so much, because stuff that you can donate, people, not makeup, all right, is because we get so much. So for us, I'm not saying that we're like so desensitized that we get so many products, but what I will say is that the thrill of getting products kind of wanes when you're in a position that you get so much as is. Okay, her breaking up those products ain't that big of a deal. She is a beauty influencer. She does what she does. There are several other products, and here's the thing: she's made another video and states the ones that she's had she had used that day that she made the video that pays her. She said it. They pay me. This company pays me. This company pays me. They pay me. They pay me. Patrick Ta is not one of them, because he was playing in her face. Now, you might say, well, what if it was just a different department and not necessarily the owner? 100% that happens. Unfortunately, when you are the owner of the company, you do have to take the hits because you are the owner of the company. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept to understand. Yes, it could have been a finance department. It could have been, they may even have an influencer department. It could have been somebody else. But when you are the owner of the company, you have to take the hit. So Patrick Ta is looking real crazy right now. He did make a video saying that he apologizes and wants to make sure that he takes care of it and make sure that she gets her money ASAP and all those other things. And I pray that she does get her dollar reduced, because she is again owed it. It was owed to her since last spring. And not only that, I hope that she get her money, I hope that they sprinkle a little something on top of it, because they are out of contract. They are out of contract. Now, what I hope she also has done is contacted her attorney. And the reason why I hope that she has contacted her attorney is because she has leverage right now. And I know some people would say, well, oh my God, because that's all she wanted in the first place. No, she wanted to get paid and compensated a long time ago before we got to this point. But now that we're at this point, she needs to make sure that she does take care of the situation, and she needs to contact her lawyer about what's the next steps. What can actually be done? What is the right thing to do? How can she go about adding? Again, I want her to add every late fee that she can legally. Whatever she legally can add, she needs to add on to it because she's rightfully owed. Some of y'all just don't get it, and I get it. You're not in this space, so you don't understand it. But here, let me put it in this space where you can understand. You go to work every single day. Your job, for whatever reason, missed a pay. They've been paying you, and then all of a sudden they miss a pay, and then they say to you, well, we're going to pay you, or they ignore you, or you're in the building, you're working, you're doing your job, and something happens where they don't respond. So you mean to tell me if you were owed money that you worked, because freelancing is work, it's not free money. It may say freelancing, but there ain't nothing free about freelancing. And so when and though this has happened, why is it? Why? Why is it that this is problematic for her to speak up about the fact that she never received her money in a space online, no doubt, where she did what she did and she got the attention of Patrick, of which, in case you don't know, she did try to contact personally and went again on deaf ears, again on deaf ears. Nothing happened. So my problem is lack of understanding, empathy, and some of y'all would pew pew a building up if you didn't get your one check, let alone getting a whole campaign. And listen, she's one of the top. She's one of the heavyweights of freelancing. So I'm sure her contract came with some zeros. I'm sure it came with a comma, at least one, if not followed by at least four numbers behind it. She had to have a 4 to 5 digit contract. No lie. She had to have a 4 to 5 digit contract. That's just the basis of knowing how we do and what we are and what we number. I just know she had at least bare bone minimum had to have a 5 digit contract. If you were owed $2 on your check, some of y'all would go Katie Kaboom if you didn't have the right vacation time on your check, but then all of a sudden you want to hold a high horse because you hungry for some makeup that ain't nobody gonna even send to you. Ain't nobody gonna, you ain't gonna go into the comment section. I'm like, Patrick, oh my God, I love you. I'm just so glad you made that apology. And then he's gonna be like, okay, let me send you some makeup. It don't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And it's amazing too. How many people got in his comment section and was like, oh my God, I accept your apology. How did you accept an apology that was never made for you? It's cute to watch it. Like I saw his apology and I was just like, all right. But I thought to myself, being that I'm a freelancer as well, until Ivana accepts it, it's just words in a video to me, because those who know stand in solidarity with her. If you are a content creator, if you are a freelancer, if you are making your dollary dues and you depend on your dollary dues to do what you need to do, yes, I'm standing in solidarity with Ivana Sunshine all day, every day. And I stand in solidarity for even the smaller creators like myself who are not as big as Ivana, who still are out here fighting for invoicing. I've known mad people that are in this world, in this space, who are still fighting for invoicing. Like I said, true story. I got one where I'm standing on business. I've already went on. I've already muted their content. I've already muted their pages. I don't want to see nothing come across my thing while you sitting on stuff that I know you saw my email and you ain't responded. And even if that person or persons or company is listening to this podcast, there's nothing you can say to me when I see you in person. When I see you in person, and this is personal. I know it is. It's okay. When I see you in person. When I see you in person, I plan to let you know. I plan to let you know. Because here's the thing. The persons in the company by which I'm speaking of, they play in a lot of people's faces. See, I be having the tea, but I don't never pour it, but I could. I could go right on there and make a video and could end a lot of things. And I would have a bunch of people behind me supporting. I would have 1,000, if not more people supporting. I could. The reason why I personally am choosing to not do so is just because I'm trying to be the bigger person. But one day, and it's a very short leash. It's a short leash of where we are on that one day. One day, my short leash, I'm going to let it off the leash and I'm just going to let it out. Because some of y'all favorites would be embarrassed. And one of my friends in the freelance space was like, they ain't going to be embarrassed because they just going to still do what they want. Possibly. But I know personally, I could not necessarily end your career. I couldn't end your career because I didn't make your career. And that's not something that I strive to do. But I would highlight your career where I would have more testimonial about the way you've done people dirty than people saying, I don't believe that that's the case. And I have emails to prove it. I just want to say that I could. I just choose not to because again, I personally choose to be the bigger person. I choose to be the bigger person. But I also because I choose to be the bigger person, that don't mean that I choose to let you play in my face. I don't let you choose to play in my face or my family's face. So all I'm saying is Ivana Sunshine deserved better than what she had. And she definitely deserved to be handled with care better than whatever this situation is called because Patrick Ty needs to go ahead and pay her money. Okay? Needs to go ahead and pay that money and needs to go ahead and do what needs to be done because none of this is acceptable. None of this whatsoever is acceptable. And the fact that people just don't get it. My thing is if you don't understand something, you don't get it, here's what you should do. Ask questions. Instead of just assuming that whatever Ivana did and broke that precious pallet that you would never get a hold to, instead of doing that, you should probably just go ahead and ask some good old country questions. Just ask. Okay? Just go ahead and ask. Asking questions will save lives. The next story that I want to talk about, a creator by the name of Dominique Brown, who is one of the head of the space for black girls in Disney, um, putting black girls and brown skinned girls into Disney space because for so long we saw women who did not look like us, and by us meaning the complexion of my personal skin, who were Disney content creators that Disney took seriously, meaning that they would get the trips and all the things and all the content and all the opportunities with Disney that a lot of girls who look like myself did not get, and Dominique was the head of that. Dominique went to a influencer event and um, like most influencer events, like most of them, they have food. So you go to these events and they have food. You have all these different situations, and it's a lot of fun. And if anything that you have done in influencer space, it will be that way. And I've gone to different PR situations, PR branding trips. I've done, influencer dinners where it's beautifully done. It is catered by a certain company or certain companies. But Box Lunch is the one who did this particular PR influencer content creator grouping, and they went and they did this dinner. And during dinner, first of all, before dinner, Dominique, anytime you go on these types of things, right? A lot of times they will send you an email that you need to RSVP for, and they ask you what are your dietary restrictions and or, your dietary preferences. You put that on the form and they are supposed to acknowledge it and then therefore work around that. Meaning if I say that, hey, I'm vegan, and they're supposed to then have vegan friendly options. This happens all the time. Nothing new to see. She put down that she was allergic, and I'm not 100% on sure. I think I've been hearing people float around peanuts. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, but what I can say is that she did let the people know that she had a dietary restriction and that she also had a situation where she is more allergic to something. So it was no longer a dietary preference. It was a life or death. Here, this is what I am allergic to. Please make sure that this is adhered to. And normally in normal spaces, this is honored. When you go to situations like that, when they ask you your preference, 9 times out of 10, most of the times, people will then label all the things so that way you'll know that this is something that has something in it, and then you can make your choices about what it is that you should eat or drink and all the other things. For whatever reason, this was not done. Dominique went ahead even a step further and asked, hey, does this meal, this particular thing that I'm about to consume, does it have the very thing that I'm allergic to in it? And they said no. So she went and proceeded to eat the food, had an allergic reaction, needed to go to the hospital. And there's been speculation that allegedly people were just like, kind of like, oh, we're still taking pictures. We're still having a good time. Like, we'll get around to it. So eventually she does get medical care, and she unfortunately dies out of reaction to the allergic reaction that she had. I find it disturbing for two reasons. I find it disturbing that they did not take responsibility in making sure that you have food labeled. The second you hear that somebody has an allergy to anything, most people, when you go to these influencer trips, will make sure nothing Not even an option of that food, especially when you know that it's going to be a danger to someone. You know, you have stuff that's as more of a preference. You may label it, you most of the time will label it, but the fact that they knew that there was an allergy to something, most people would just eliminate it completely off the menu, meaning they don't have it nowhere. They don't want to take no chances. So the fact that this happened and she died makes no sense. Why didn't somebody take the recourse of making sure she had what she needed to have? If she told you that she was allergic to something, and the fact that people still continue talking about this is the best event that they had ever went to, I promise you I would have never posted. If I ever go to any event and someone is injured and to the point where there is a death, I would never post that. I would never post out of respect for the person who lost their life. I would not post, because how could I say this is a great event and knowing that someone lost their life? I don't understand, but here's why this happens. Some people, one, don't respect people. They don't respect life. It didn't matter to them. It wasn't nobody that they pretty much knew, or it wasn't somebody that they were close to. So no love lost, right? And then here's the other part. The other part is, so people are so hungry to make sure that they post something first that they don't give a damn. I have been to events where I know you had to have started posting shit or start editing from your car. And so you could be first. People will do that type of shit. Excuse my language, but not. People will literally start editing and putting these videos together just so they could be number one. I know of a situation where there have been, so here's the thing, even in Philadelphia, mostly here that I see, because this does not happen in the most other, let me just say this does not happen in other spaces, and Philadelphia is known for this. They will have a influencer list. They'll take their 5 top 10, meaning the people that they know that they will give them these massive numbers. They'll bring them in, recreate the same event a day or a week before, and allow them. So of course they'll have the content, they'll have all stuff, and then they post before everybody else. This happens in Philly all the time. It happens in Philly all of the time. They have the preference for who they really want there. And here's my thing. I know this is going to sound weird because I am a content creator. Why didn't you just keep it with the people that you wanted in the first place? I had an event that somebody asked me to go to. It's a Christmas event. I started seeing people post like a week before, and then that's when I recognized, you got me on the C list. Oh, I'm not even going to your event. And I didn't go. I got the invite and I didn't go. If you already got the people who you really wanted to go, I'm not finna help you. I am not helping you by then going and posting again. I'm not helping you. I'm on your B list, and I see people are posting, meaning they'd already went to such event. You've already had them there. You've already done your big one. Then that's the event that you got. Then that's what you got. So you're good. You are good to go. You don't need me to help. I'm not helping your numbers. I'm not pushing your numbers. I'm not going. And so when I got the event invitation and I saw it, I said, not my monkey, not my show. And I didn't go. Because I'm not doing that. 2025 is going to be a very interesting year. We're already shaking up and allowing the truth to be exposed in 2024. Why not just go ahead and just do an all-stop drag out at this point? Because 2025, I'm going to really hurt feelings in 2025. And I say all that to say some people are so hungry to be the first, to be the number one, to be the top spot, that you would post anything knowing that somebody lost their life is beyond me. When I tell you Box Lunch would not have gotten me to post anything about that event after I knew somebody died. If it's different if I didn't know anything happened. I happened to be there. And if I did, I probably would have pulled the content right off because I don't want that smoke. Now, the people who did post, they're all making, well, we had to post because it's a part of the thing. You have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice. I would have reached out to them, to Box Lunch, and said, listen, hey, after everything that just happened, I really just don't feel comfortable posting my content. I really don't feel comfortable posting my content knowing that Dominique died. She should still be here because something as allergic to food, you have choices. You can cook and have alternatives to certain things, and or you can eliminate certain things, okay? You can eliminate. And whenever there's a nut allergy, people just usually don't have anything that's associated with nuts. Normally, that's like, for instance, with kids. Back in the day, you could just buy some cupcakes off the shelf in the bakery, just bring them in and call it a day. Now you can't. Unless it now has every ingredient listed on there, you can't even bring it in because some people are gluten, some people are this, some people are that. This is no longer that day. If you are a PR person and you are listening to this podcast, somebody gave you and told you to listen to it, even if you thought you listened to it for tea. If you are a PR, if you are a company that hosts events, if you are an event coordinator, you should make sure that this never happens ever, because you have the power to do so. You have the power to do so. The statement of basically it's unfortunate that situation died, blah, blah, blah. So generic, so generic. And offering therapy to the family of Dominique. You're gonna offer therapy. That's your big gift. Listen, one thing black folks gonna do, they're gonna get themselves an attorney. And I pray they get a good attorney that's gonna represent them, because Box Lunch and whoever is associated would be paying for Dominique's funeral and then beyond. For compensation, emotional distress, absolutely. I would sue you. You better be lucky. I would listen. I would tell my mama, something happened to me. I tell my husband, something happened to me. Somebody go ahead and call that attorney. Get somebody on the line. Call them, because this could have been prevented. She should still be here. She was a beautiful, beautiful young woman. Beautiful, like, and the fact that she did her big one to make sure brown skinned girls are represented in that Disney space, for that alone deserves. Okay? So, y'all was doing a lot. The next story that I want to talk about is this Nurse Hannah thing. Now, some of y'all just don't love your children. You don't even like them. I'm just going to say that again, because some of that went over some of y'all's heads. Some of y'all have children and you don't like them, and it shows. What do I mean by having children you don't like them? Nurse Hannah has been accused of abuse, and you can tell from the videos that she posted. Here's the thing. Here's what I don't understand about posting. Okay. When you are making videos and you're going to edit, you look and see what's in your background. Some of y'all that's been posting stuff and you got roaches in your background, you knew you had them roaches. First of all, you knew before you started filming that you had roaches. Then when you actually went and you saw the roach made it into the video, why didn't you clean it up? Why didn't you go back and re-record? Why didn't you edit that out? Like, some of y'all be doing the most. Like, y'all be, just, God bless you, okay? Some of y'all be doing the most. Now, when I say about Nurse Hannah, you knew you saw a point in that video where you flicked that baby's hand. You know, some people believe in gentle parenting, right? And we don't believe in busting our kids to the white meat no more. We believe in actually not beating our kids no more. So what you thought was going to happen? And if you did it for the controversy, you got it, baby girl. You got it. But now everybody's on that behind because you've been doing more. How you not feeding that baby? You won't even let the baby get a fry? This is why I say some of y'all don't like your kids. Some of y'all had kids because you had sex, you didn't think about birth control, and bam, a baby came. So now you're having to raise this kid and you are not happy. And because you're not happy, it shows up in the things that you do. It shows up in how you talk to your kids. Some of you that talk to your kids and call them every name outside of the book, outside of the name you actually named them, you don't deserve to have kids, and you don't like your kids. Because I've gotten angry at my kids and had to pull some words back. But to legitimately talk and be raggedy to your kids, and then to do it on film, and then to know you had it on film, edited that, and then posted it, you don't like your kids. So Nurse Hannah is going and getting got because of the fact that she don't like her son. And for whatever reason, she keeps withholding food from him. Every time you turn around, she legitimately continues to, every time he goes to grab for a piece of food, he looks so sad, like he's like, oh, I wish I could eat that. But he can't, because his mama keeps plucking, or the daddy keeps on plucking at this baby every time the baby goes to eat. So she posted several videos. There was another video where she was walking to I guess it was Walmart. And you know how I feel about Walmart. If you don't know, I know you can get a lot of savings from Walmart. And if I had to order something from Walmart, I would. I just don't like going into Walmart because, especially here in Philadelphia, if you live in Philadelphia, you know good and damn well ain't no Walmart that I'm going to go to. I'm not sacrificing my mental health and nothing to go into a Walmart in Philadelphia. Now, I am from Lancaster. I will drive to Lancaster, or while I'm in Lancaster, and I may go into Walmart. I'll go into one of them before I go into the Philadelphia ones. At any time you ever see me go into one, I make a video almost every time. It ain't been that many. But the few times I've ever had to go into a Walmart, I be telling people, if I don't come back and say that I made it out that Walmart, please send help. And I'd be dead ass serious, because I can't stand going to Walmart in Philly. I say all that to say, she was on her way to the Walmart, and that's the store I believe she was going to, and she saw a $35 jacket. This baby had on this light, my mom used to call it popsicle jackets. A popsicle jacket to my mama was, you basically put on something that just had a little bit of covering, but it wasn't really enough to do really a lot. And so You had this little jacket on this baby, and it really ain't nothing to cover up nothing, but you want to go on record and say you at least put something on the baby. That's what my mom would call a popsicle jacket. She had this popsicle jacket on this baby that didn't wasn't really doing anything. It wasn't worth anything. Didn't really provide any warmth to this child. You go into the Walmart and you say $35 is too much to pay for a jacket, so you're not going to pay for it. Mind you, she shows that there's a frozen cup of water in the car that is completely frozen solid, and she's like, "Man, it's so cold outside that it's like 20 something, but it feels like it's 8. If it feels like 8 degrees to you to the point where it's freezing up a bottle of water, why do you have your baby out here with this popsicle jacket on?" Then you go into the store and say that the jacket is too much. You're not willing to pay $35, but then you let the world know. Again, you recorded these videos and let the world know that your husband can go out and spend $1,500 to $2,000 on hunting gear or whatever he was buying, but you think that a $35 coat is too big. You didn't even put a blanket over that baby to keep him warm. You had that baby in them little summertime clothes and them little skippy little sneakers and didn't have a jacket on that baby, and then you're wondering why the world is dragging you. Nurse Hannah is in a lot of stuff. There's a creator, I'm not sure what his name is. I got time for all that, but there's a creator who then went a step further and discovered that her husband has a real estate company that he's running outside of their home, which is illegal. So now they're coming for your dollar dues. Again, I have to say this. When you post things online, people are going to come for you. You got to be prepared for it. So you got to be careful about what you post. You got to be careful about what you post. When you have stuff happening in your background, clean up your background. Please stop posting food videos and dinner videos and cooking videos when your stove is nasty. Go ahead and take 5 seconds to clean up your area. Listen, I know when you cook, you dirty up some things, but some of the stuff that be on y'all stove, I remember this one girl. I actually do know her in real life. And she made this cooking video, and on the stove was so nasty. I thought to myself, who you thought you was putting onto a recipe when your stove is that nasty? And this is stuff that's been on your stove. You could tell it's been on your stove for a month of Sundays. Just clean up your area. When I go to record, I check all the things. Is the area that I'm recording in clean? One, I'm just going to make sure, first of all, I'm the type of person that I can't even create content until my space is clean, period. Even if I'm not even creating in that space. For instance, I could be down here making this podcast, but like upstairs in my living room, I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and run the vacuum real quick, just because it's like, how am I making and doing extracurricular stuff? Even though this is a job, this is part of the stuff that I do, this is a part of what I create. How can I do that? How can I do that if I am not taking care of my home, making sure everything is good? So that's just me. But if you're going to not care about that, I'm a little extra, I'm a little OCD. Maybe that's not your case. But if I'm going to create in a space, I got to check to make sure that the walls are clear or clean. Is the floor clear? Like, just make sure your space is cleaned up, because you can control that. I just need you to understand you can control that. So Nurse Hannah's getting to business. People are calling children and youth, which would be considered children and youth from what I know in Lancaster. I don't know what it's called, CYS, Children and Youth Services. And people again are just like, listen. So between y'all not washing your booties for Jesus, between y'all coming for Ivana Sunshine and this Patrick Ta, putting your 2 cents in something that you don't know and don't understand, you can just simply ask questions. Between the fact that it's the holidays and I'm really over it, I'm ready for Christmas to come, and so I can spend time with my family and my immediate family. Between the fact that I'm out here trying to recover from being sick, between me about to drag the hell out of a couple of companies before I get so I can get my funds too. All the stuff that's going on, all I can say is that, what is my mental health looking like these days? First of all, I'm grateful for this being sick. I actually am grateful for when I got sick. And let me tell you why. Me getting sick, I put everything on pause. I let companies know, I'm sorry I can't make it to your event. Sorry I can't come. Sorry I can't come. Sorry I can't do. Sorry I can't. Sorry. And I was just like, sorry I can't do it. And I was okay with it. The amount of Christmas movies that I finally caught up on, I am super happy about, because I feel like I would not have had that time until maybe the week of Christmas. So I got my big jump on Christmas movies. I rested. My family took care of me. Some of them got sick while doing so, but my family took care of me, and I'm grateful for it. So I'm actually was grateful that I was sick. That downtime also allowed me to make sure that I just was able to get the rest that I needed. And I didn't even realize I needed it. My other part of my mental health is the fact that I've still maintained, even though I was sick. I don't know how I did it the one day when I really was barely talking, but I was able to still do my therapy. I've had my therapy sessions that have gone extremely well. Grateful for my therapist. I'm going to have another one right before Christmas. Literally 2 days before Christmas, I'm going to have my next therapy session, because with the holidays and, seeing extended family and just different things that could pop up, I just want to make sure I'm prepared. And also, I also made sure that I also don't got therapy right before Thanksgiving, even though I didn't go anywhere. I just wanted to make sure. So my mental health is actually good. The only thing that I regret that didn't happen in this last couple of weeks is that I haven't been able to work out because I haven't felt well. Like I don't feel like I should be the one going to work out at the gym and getting everybody else sick when I'm coughing and hacking up a lung. I will get back into it this week, obviously, because I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not 100%, but I'm definitely getting better. And yeah, I feel like I've taken care of me and allowed myself to be in a position to make sure that I'm good. And I appreciated the fact that I was like, okay, let me make sure that I'm good, make sure the people around me are good, but also making sure that I just don't take anything for granted. And I feel good, even though I feel like I'm about to put on the glove and start boxing people, I still feel good. And that's not always the case. Around this time, I'm always caught up in the holidays because, mom magic is real. For those who have children or those who desire to have children, when holidays come around, you really just see the holidays through the lens of your children. And um, so, yes, I'm really grateful for being in my right mind. Seasonal depression for me will not usually will start to kick in about right after the new year. It's something about like, okay, the drama of not the drama, but the excitement of mom magic kind of wanes. I still leave my tree up all year round, so I decorate it for different holidays. I probably will still leave it up for Christmas until sometime after January, and then I'll switch it over to Valentine's Day tree. And after it's like between the switch between Christmas and Valentine's is usually when my seasonal depression kicks in into high gear. So me and my therapist have been trying to figure out, other ways in which I can, make sure that I take care of myself, make sure I look out for myself during this time. Because again, I am always honest about the fact that um, how I'm feeling. And I have to be honest about that because I want to make sure that I take care of myself. And if you dealt with or dealing with seasonal depression, sometimes being honest of where you are is really helpful. Being clear about the things that you're going through is super helpful. And so that's the focus that I'm going to just focus on. I pray that you are doing well. I hope that your mind is good. And if you can't really afford to do a lot that you want to do for Christmas, listen, I've been in situations where I couldn't do a whole lot and I just did what I could. What I've learned about my children, what I've learned about myself, what I've learned about my family, and it just lets me know more and more that I'm praying and I'm raising my children right, is that my kids are just so grateful for whatever they get. And so that makes me, as a mom, for the times that I can do more, it makes me want to do more because I'm like, I have a really amazing kids. My oldest is getting, she's straight A's. My two younger kids' grades are immaculate. They're really respectful for the most part at home, but they're definitely respectful when they're out with other people. I've never heard anybody say to me, "Oh, your kid's this and that." If anything, I just got a random email about my son, and let me just say this very openly: my son plays for two different basketball teams. That boy's out here really running the streets. He's more booked and busy than me sometimes. And my son, from some random woman we don't even know who she was, that was during at the basketball game, emailed his coach to let him know how much she appreciated how my son represented the school, was courteous to the other teams players. The one team, I think the one team member had fallen, he went and helped that team member up. My son is like that 24/7. Anybody who knows my son knows my son is like that. He has the biggest heart. He wears his heart sometimes on his sleeve, which is why I always pray for his protection, that nobody tries to take advantage of him. And I'm not even one of those, my son, my son, my son. It's just the fact that when you have a kid that's like that, you kind of just have to put a little extra prayer on it. But when we received that email, we already knew that about my son. But to see other people recognize that about him, there's been people who have never met him and only seen him one time, and they've said the same thing. So it just lets me know that I'm doing something right. We're doing something right. And so I am grateful for the things that, that I've been able to do, the ways in which I can take care of my kids, the ways in which I can look out for my family. I just try to stick to that. And again, I say all that to say that sometimes you can't always do the big things, but you can do whatever you can. And if you do what you need to do for your family and raise your kids to a certain level, they'll be super respectful. They will. They'll be super respectful to the point where they will make sure that they are honorable about whatever it is that you can give. Because as parents, especially when you have kids that are great, you want to do as much as you can. And I'm more of the concept of making sure that you do the things that matter the most to them. So I say all that to say I want you to have the most amazing weekend. We're getting down to the close of the year. And, make sure that you take care of you. Like, make sure that you take care of you. Don't allow yourself to be in a situation where you feel like you're overdoing it. Just take care of you. Do whatever it is that you feel that you need to do. So, with that being said, have the most amazing day. I hope that you have the most amazing weekend. Find one activity that you love for yourself and do it well. Because you are absolutely, absolutely, absolutely deserving of that. Okay? Have a great day, and thank you for listening to Conversations with Toy.
Thank you as always for joining me, and I know that even in the deepest or joyful conversations that there's something we can learn and apply. Until next time, I hope that you are doing better. If not, we will be back to talk some more and handle it. Peace to you and yours. Stay grounded.